Should we call you Michael or Gozo?
Has the episode started?
Really wants to start it with that.
I was trying to segue into
I
it.
know, I thought that's what we were doing.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Bread for Toast, episode 22. We are joined, returning guests or characters as David would say. We have Emma, we have Michael aka Gozo. We're in Gozo right now, so we're going to call him Michael for this episode.
They're in me.
Yes.
I'm in me.
I think by this point I am the unofficial third member of Bread for Toast.
I think so. You've appeared on more episodes than DJ. So, honorary member. So you get the role in the Discord, and you can see me messaging at 3 in the morning what episode ideas I get.
Or
like the episode art or the...
Yes, there's a lot of channels. Anyway, today's episode, as we are in the lovely Gozo, the sister island, is going to be a bit of a discussion. We're all uni students or recent uni. I think we're all actually still at uni. Yes. Some of us are on a master's program, some of us are still doing the undergrad, but we're all uni students, and you two are obviously from Gozo.
Obviously.
You can tell by the way they look.
By our deformations from years of innocence.
Yes. I said yes without hearing the last word, and then it registered. But of course, being Gozitan Maltese, it's quite a different experience, uni-wise. You know, the logistics of transportation, where you live, what you do. So, let's talk about that. This is quite an old episode idea from one of the initial Bread for Toast brainstorming sessions.
I think this was still when we were like in the first digits
way
of episodes.
Back in 2023, this episode idea was thought up. The amount of... There's always potential guests listed, and this list has changed like 50 times.
Like a person gets added, but 2 people get removed.
Exactly, it's always changing. But we are here, we are doing it now. I don't know if maybe, because you've been on episodes before, I don't know if either of you want to do a bit maybe of
introduce yourself.
Short introduction again, you know, in case anybody's watching this episode as their first episode. Whoever wants to start.
No.
Alright, we start with Michael then.
So I'm going to preface by saying I'm probably the least Gozitan person you'll ever come across.
It's good. We get a bit of a sample size.
So Michael, as was previously said, I'm Gozitan. I assume. It's like, what do you define as Gozitan?
From Gozo.
From Gozo. So because some people say, I was born in Malta, not in Gozo. Would you classify that as Maltese or Gozitan?
If you've lived your entire life in Malta, you are Maltese, not Gozitan.
Yeah, you get naturalized into whatever. So like I spent 15 years of my life in Gozo after.
So you have spent more of your life in Gozo than Malta?
Yes.
So you're Gozitan for now.
Last time I was talking, I spent like a quarter of my life technically in Malta now. Which is like, whoa.
I mean, but I think if you've still spent your like...
I think it's the early
if you still spent your earlier years in Gozo, you're forever going to be a Gozitan.
Exactly. You'll understand certain stuff that Maltese people won't.
You'll get
like how to dress nicely.
Accent.
Or how goats talk.
Still figuring that out.
I have to cut that, they'll get offended. I'm not going to cut that actually.
No.
Fuck it.
I'm Emma. I'm as Gozitan as they get. I'm literally related to everybody on this island for some reason. And my dialect is abhorrent.
Yes, that's why we're speaking in English, guys.
Ash, if we had to speak in Maltese, no one would understand her.
Another
except maybe the Gozitan.
For Gozitan speaking in English.
No, there was this one instance where, this was in the ICTSA, one of the guys was like, I can never understand Gozitans when they're speaking, only Emma. And that was a shock to me.
Speaking in Gozitan or is it?
No, he can, like with the Gozitan dialect, he can never understand when someone is speaking with a Gozitan dialect, except when it's me.
That's wild.
Like, we had 2 other Gozitans at the time in the organization, and they would say something, and then he would literally look to me for me to repeat it, except I'd say it 10 times worse, because again, my dialect is abhorrent.
Issa namlu 10-minute segment.
In Maltese.
No.
Oh, yeah, I don't have the Gozitan accent. Like, very, very few words I say.
So that's put it into contention, his Gozitan identity.
This is why.
Because the accent is like an important thing, the dialect.
I understand it perfectly. So like, like similar to what Emma's saying, I remember once, like a bit after COVID, a friend group, we came down to ferry, I got them down to Gozo or whatever. We're at Ramla, we go to Champions. If you're Gozitan, you know about Champions. And there's a friend of mine, ferry, like serving the ice cream, whatever. Champions is an ice cream van.
I've introduced Maltese people to Champions. They always end
It's
up going every time they're back in
It's
Gozo.
amazing. And like I'm there, I'm talking to her like, Shane, how's everything going? What post? Then my friend goes to order ice cream, and this motherfucker can't understand her. Like I had to jump. Like she literally told me, I cannot believe you're friends with these Pepe people. But they weren't Pepe, but like they literally couldn't understand her. Sahalli, she was from Nadur, so maybe like the accent is a bit more prominent.
I
But,
don't. I
like,
don't hear the regional dialect.
Yeah, as Gozitans, you don't hear the difference, but then when you take a step back, it's noticeable.
It's a tiny island. You have dialects for different villages.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yes,
the same
yes.
in Malta as well.
In Malta there are dialects. It's just most Maltese, since like the way they learn Maltese is all in the schools, or like it gets certain times the dialect gets like phased out. In certain places it's more prominent. Like in most of the north, there's not really much of a dialect.
I found this really weird that Maltese people didn't realize that for Maltese, the subject, we were graded, like orally, we were graded for speaking like
Yes.
as pure Maltese as possible.
Yes, that's
Like you would marks would be deducted if you didn't speak pure Maltese and enter the dialect, right? So every Gozitan knows how to like properly put on a fake Maltese accent. I can do that, but I just gave up trying.
Well, yeah, then it becomes like
It's
when you get
10-minute
actually,
segment with Malti.
then when you actually get to Malta, like
Ivan, or how can
you
we
get
do?
you get the skill of like switching based on who you're talking to as well.
No, that's it as well. No, it depends on who I'm talking
Because
to.
that's
If it's
the thing.
someone I
That's the
know.
thing. A lot of Gozitans do. Like between Gozitans, they'll speak with the dialect. But as soon as a Maltese person is in the vicinity, they switch.
Not necessarily, because I've known you guys forever, right? But if I'm going to somebody, like to a shop, and I'm ordering something Maltese, I'm going to muster the fakest Maltese accent I can. Like, to try and sound as pure Maltese as possible. Because I don't want to go down the inevitable conversation of, inti awċija. It's like, yes, thank you, can I have my coffee?
Anyways, I have a list of ChatGPT questions.
Insane.
Dude, ChatGPT is the third member of the
Chat
Force
ouchie.
I generated these at 2 in the morning.
There's Carm from
I was a bit
God
tipsy.
knows where providing questions.
Introduction 5 minutes. I think we went over 5 minutes, but that's fine. All right. Section 2. The Commute, a tale of two islands. That's actually what this time. For the Gozitan guests. Walk us through your Monday routine.
Sunday.
So I think Sunday makes more sense. Yes, 'cause I think your
Sunday
week
as
starts
well.
on Sunday if you have uni on Monday. So let's start with that.
You want to go or?
Wait. I'm gonna ask this very important question before. Do you drive in Malta?
Not. I don't even own a car. I have my license, but I don't own a car.
So
and I'm
the-
not planning on driving in Malta as soon as I get a car. I want to like have a good few rounds in Gozo before I go to Malta because it is different.
If you can drive in Gozo, you can drive anywhere.
No. Driving in Malta is worse.
Where?
I think driving in
No,
Gozo
the-
is worse actually because the roads there are so many like narrower roads here.
Two-way. It's
Oh,
crazy.
like the roads are shit in Gozo.
No, the
Like,
roads are
straight-
better
straight-
quality.
No, what the fuck?
But no, I think he means like tarmac wise.
Yes,
because
yes,
most of them are
tarmac-wise,
like still relatively
exactly.
new because they keep remaking them
Like,
for
like
some reason.
in Gozo, you won't find speed bumps because there's no need for it because with all the potholes, they make you speed
No,
bumps.
I think the roads in Gozo are really good. And the roads in
No.
Malta are shit.
It depends. No, if
think
you're
it depends
using
where
the
you're
ones that are
driving.
frequently being used, then yes, because they
Yes.
try to
I
make
mean,
them
you
look
get
as
to
nice as
so full
possible.
main road.
In summer, the roads in Slim are a
But like, if
disaster.
you're going down Salome, oh, that's what we should do. We should go in the car and you should go down the Salome.
Issa namlu short, ninżlu s-saloon.
Oh
Anyway,
god.
that would be the short for this episode.
My driving teacher took me once there without like any warning.
I hope
No.
it's not the Ittala li għandi f'moħħi.
It might be.
What's
It's
the
very
tella-
steep and also zigzaggy.
as
Oh,
a-
it is.
It is.
It's the one you go up to Zabuch too.
No.
No.
No, it's also that
No.
one.
The booch isn't that bad.
And
It's
it's
not that bad.
No,
No, this
it's
one
not
is
that-
narrow.
This is way worse.
this one
is
is
way,
really
way
narrow.
worse.
It's not paved road either,
Okay,
but
I
it
don't
is a
think we're going-
shortcut, so
Also,
people
I
will
don't
take
think we're
it.
going to do the short over there.
Anyway,
I already hit my car.
What if we have Emma drive through
We
it?
use her car so it gets damaged instead.
No, we have her because didn't she say she had trouble with the parking or like getting into the garage?
Even I hit my car last night. After I stopped, I was like, hey guys, as soon as I turned around, I just with the bumper, into the wall. You know how narrow it is? It's crazy.
Anyway,
But that's what the bumper is there for.
Back
so.
to driving in Malta versus Gozo. I think the best way to describe it is in Malta, people like know the rules of the road. They just choose not to follow them. In Gozo, it's a free for all. We are
That's
oblivious to the rules of the road.
Again, because there's so many two-way streets that only fit one car.
Exactly. And like even
The only exception is the main roads, I feel like.
yeah, but even then like, you know how you guys driven to? Have you guys ever driven to Hamroon?
Yes.
So imagine Hamroon. All of Gozo's Hamroon, where like people cross at random times. Cars come from random
yes, they do
areas.
The
that.
best parts of Gozo are like Hamrun, I'd say.
Yes,
In terms
yes.
of development.
Yes. But like,
Palatre, as in.
but like even in Gozo, you need to be aware because there will always be that nun that crosses the road randomly.
Real.
and
Oh my god.
and you will
The old
nev-
people are the worst.
Yes, is that. And they like you can honk at them, and they look at you like you killed the person in their family.
Legit people our age are so respectful when it comes to looking both ways and making sure the cars are far enough to actually cross in time. Old people cannot care any less. They know they're on their deathbed, so they just say, whatever.
Bro, that's kind of basic.
Might as well get a check for my
Might as
family
well.
while I'm at it.
Legit.
But yes, so Sunday, you start your week on Sunday, I think, right? Because you have a lecture on Monday. Walk us through that a bit. I don't know who wants to
To
start.
be- you go up by I go up to Malta by car now. Like ever since I got my license by car. So I assume
How more expensive is it by car? 15 euros?
15 for
no,
Maltese
No,
people.
it's,
okay.
it's like 8.15 for me.
That I
Because it's
find
still
that too
half.
expensive.
It's still
I'm cheap
it's still
as fuck.
halfway Shismu.
I'm so cheap that I prefer taking the Chirkawa ferry because instead of taking the fast ferry 2 ways and taking the Chirkawa ferry 2 ways, that saves me €3 every week, which I could use on Monster.
Okay, wait. Let's move on to the. Can we move on to the fast ferry before going on to the actual commute?
Yes.
Because the fast ferry is shit.
Okay.
Like it is.
Have you been on it on
Yes.
either? No. Have you been on it on either time that it quote unquote exploded? It didn't explode, but it did catch fire.
Yes.
I wasn't, but I had a friend and she was taking a video
It caught
of like
fire.
Yes.
twice. She, like while it was moving in the middle of the water, and she took a video of they had to take the boats out to like take them all, and she had her luggage with her because she takes her clothes back and forth to Malta because sometimes you won't have a flat width. A
Like
laundry
washing
machine,
machine,
yeah,
so-
washing machine. So
Or-
you have to like take them back and forth frequently. So she's on this like small boat with like 10 other people with her luggage. I'm just like, is this what the refugees are feel
Oh
like?
my god.
Emma, no, even like the fast ferry itself, it's not designed for Gozitans.
No,
Like
I don't-
you realize it by just the timetables in summer.
It's
so
for
so
tourists.
much more. It's made for tourists. Like at first, it's like proposed like this thing. Oh, we're gonna help out Gozitan students. We have the fucking buses. The buses for the fast ferry never come on time. Never come on time. Like if you think the X1, Gozitans will know about the X1 is shit at timing. Like fast ferry buses are, like you will never see them.
Oh, catching the bus for the ferry, for either ferry, pre-app.
What's pretty
Yes.
Disastrous. As in,
Pre-
before they released
Before
the
they, like,
that
updated
Talinia app that
Talinia
actually
app.
shows you how far
Yes.
away the bus is from
Ah,
the
okay,
particular
okay.
bus stop. Literal hell. Because you genuinely do not know if it's ever going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
That
At the
was a
very
good
least, with the
update.
app, you could be like, okay, it's 20 minutes-ish away, and that I probably can add 10 more minutes for traffic.
That's a
Fair,
good
but you can
update.
also like press the button that shows you where it is on the map.
Yes,
on
That
the
one
route
doesn't
as well.
always work for me personally, but
No,
yeah.
no, it's for the fucking 300. Oh, the 300. It's 300, right? To the fast ferry.
Yes.
Yeah, for that one doesn't work.
That's,
Oh, amazing.
I can't lie. I got my license around 10 months ago, and I got a car the day after I got my license, and I've never looked back. I've had to go on the bus like 5 or 6 times since then,
Oh, see.
and it's like, shit, bro. I hate the bus.
Oh. I unironically enjoy the bus if there's a place where I can sit and people aren't like pushing each other. I like the bus. I like the commute.
If it's not busy.
Yeah, no, but then the
Yeah, but when is
issue
it
is
not busy?
it depends which ones you're taking.
I'm
If you're
from
taking one
Slema.
for the
They're
ferry,
always
then yes,
busy.
it's gonna be
Yes.
busy. Yeah, exactly. You're from Slema. If I'm for some reason going to Attard, where no one goes to Attard, it's a nice bus ride.
There was one nice bus ride I took in December when I broke my wrist.
He can count them on his hands.
And what?
You can count the nice bus rides you've had on your hand.
On the
one
unbroken
singular
one,
hand.
yes.
Yeah.
And it was when we came to Gozo, but I had to leave super early in the morning. It was taking a bus from Slema to Chirkova at 7 a.m. No one. on like a random, I don't even know what date it was.
I was gonna say, what's the weekday? Because it does affect.
I think it was like a Tuesday or
It was like
Oh
a
no,
random
you're not gonna
Wednesday,
find that.
and that was chill.
You
That
should
was
be fine.
chill.
Yeah. Okay.
وضحى لي متى وصلت أودش a wave and I was drenched from the bottom for like half the day, but that's a different story.
Where were you, like, to get drenched by the wave?
I was on a slipway of the jetty, and I was waiting because you guys were coming to the boathouse, and I was like, oh, don't slip
that one,
here,
okay.
but I don't see the waves coming up. عشان مش ناتيكاس, and one just comes up, oh, and all here was wet.
Very nice.
In winter, it was very cold. It's still winter, technically. Not spring now, right? Or not yet.
That was the time we
no,
realized
not
Trivial
yet,
Pursuit
I
is a
think.
terrible, terrible game, right?
I think we don't have the general knowledge for it.
General knowledge. The questions will range from stuff you learned when you were 10 to stuff that you
What's
would
the game?
never
Trivial
find
Pursuit.
out otherwise.
Fair, fair. But back to the commute. Let's see, because unless you're done with the fast ferry or you have more
Oh
comments.
yeah, it just fast ferry is not a Gozitan friendly.
There are two methods of commuting. Either you commute every day, and I know people that commuted every day instead of renting a flat. The other option is renting a flat, and then I also know people that stayed in Malta the entirety, like they rarely ever went to Gozo. And then there are people like me that go to Gozo every weekend just because I don't think you guys realize how nice you have it, especially in the first few years of uni. The fact that you can go home, you don't have to worry about cleaning, laundry, making your own food, and preparing, like thinking ahead of what you're going to be eating throughout the week and making sure you're eating like
Good food.
quote unquote
Yeah.
healthy or good food. Like that stuff takes so much time, and I had to explain this to I've had to explain this to multiple lecturers at points. I think specifically to my thesis supervisor. And he was like, I don't think it takes that much time. It's like, it takes me a lot of time. It takes me, like, I have less free time during the day than other students do. Like, I remember first year, I was talking to a 24-year-old in uni. She was Maltese. And she was talking about how she doesn't know how to do her laundry because her dad does her laundry. And then, like, her mother cooks. And I'm just like, in the meantime, because at the time the flat didn't have a washing machine, in the meantime, every Monday I need to go up this really steep hill with my heavy ass luggage every time to like be able to take the clothes that I brought back to Gozo in there, and then like I need to refill it up at the end of the week and like drag it along. It's like
Yeah, like it's very hard for not just Maltese people, but people to in general to like comprehend how much time you waste just because you're Gozitan. Because like so like you'd go home after a lecture or whatever. Assume you'd like maybe find like lunch ready depending on when you're done. You'd find like most of the stuff ready. Ushnafin. Some people like cook by themselves, whatever. Depends on your situation. Like being Godzitan most of the time, you're as such you're thrown on your own. It's similar to living abroad.
All right.
Like just straight up living abroad. The only difference is that when you're abroad, like when it comes to the weekend or whenever, you don't need to waste like 3 hours going to see your
Commuting.
family and 3 hours going back to your place.
again, you
every
could decide
weekend.
not to do that, like, and just stay in Malta the entire time. But I think, especially in those first few like 2-3 years,
Yes.
it's you get homesick pretty quickly.
Like I remember when I first like started going to Malta, like I would come down every weekend, and then because of exams I stopped. And then it's turned out like, okay, I'll do like 2 weekends I'd stay in Malta and 1 weekend I stay in Gozo. 2 weekends I stay in Malta, 1 weekend I stay in Gozo. But then it sort of adds up. It's like, oh, I'm seeing like some of my family like once every 3 weeks. Like that's not something that's like easy to sort of especially like Maltese people. Like I'm including Gozitans in this Maltese people, where like we are very close to our families. Like we usually stay like living with our families till we're like 30 or something like that. No, so imagine you've lived with these people like your whole life, and then all of a sudden because you're going to university, boom, you see them like once every week, once every 2 weeks, once
It's
every 3
jarring,
weeks.
though, I
Yeah.
guess.
It's a big culture shock, especially at the beginning.
Yeah, my grandma lives 15 minutes away from where we live in Gozo, but like I think for 2 years straight, I never properly saw her. Like maybe I saw her when I was catching a bus somewhere and I waved at her, but like that was the much we were doing. Like she had no idea what was going on in my life, what I was doing. So I went from seeing her basically every weekend to, as soon as I get to Gozo, it's the weekend, I'm gonna sleep mostly. And I'm gonna like catch up on stuff, but at least I'm home. I'm
The
not going
sleeping in
out much
Gozo.
during the weekend.
There's something in the Gozitan air that makes you sleep more
Yes,
than a
yes,
month.
yes, yes,
There
yes,
is
yes.
something, like it happens a lot. Like as soon as you get to Gozo, sleep.
I think it's cleaner, so it's much nicer
Yes.
to
I do
like.
think the air is
The
cleaner.
air is
So
definitely
vedu tagħna
Yeah.
I don't know if it can be seen on video.
To be fair, you are in Austria, which is like a more rurally area.
Yeah, this is
Let's
like
be
the
honest.
the
Like you're not
random
gonna find this in
folders
Rabat.
Gozo.
It's a nice hole at least.
Rabat Gozo, sorry.
I have
As
heard
a-
this thing that Gozitans who I've spoken to get homesick or get lonely, and they're like,
I know
I
people.
mean, it makes sense. So when you
I
think
know
about
people
it.
who like quit university like the first 2 weeks because they're like, I can't like stay going up to Malta. I can't live on my own in
Is
Malta.
there?
I can't stay doing the commute every day. So they just like fuck it.
Bisra.
that's crazy. And
Like,
it's
okay.
not.
There is Gozitan stipend, which is meant to like counteract or like give
It's
you monetary.
rarely
But
ever
no,
enough, though.
like it doesn't add up. It really doesn't.
Like
add
I'm
up.
already like the place I'm staying at is dirt cheap, and even then, the monthly stipend, if I was getting it, for some reason they didn't accept me this year. I don't know why.
Oh, same. I don't know why. This year
I
didn't-
don't know why, because they accepted someone in the same course as me who's Gozitan, but a year older,
Mm-hmm.
and he says that he gets them every month, and I was like, Esther, I don't know
Yeah, this year
why.
they didn't accept me.
They didn't accept me this year, but anyway, they give you like what 160.
A month?
Yes.
Yes.
An extra
for a
160.
month's rent.
No, for rent it's not.
160
No, for
something
rent,
like
for
No,
rent,
not
it's,
at all. I think
it's
they
nothing.
just
Like
count it
I
as
think
like
for where
a-
I'm staying right now, it's close, yes, but I would still need to take out personal money to pay for it.
And if you don't mind, how many people do you share the flat with?
Currently, because this year I'm in a different flat than before, because the person I was living with, her parents own the flat. Her sister finally made it to uni age, so I was kind of like automatically booted out. Not out of like them being rude, just I knew it was gonna come at some point.
Da sekket joke. Barra.
But then when we lived in an apartment for like 1.5 years, we were 3 people, and then the last year and a half we were 2 people. We had 2 bathrooms. I'm currently living in a flat with 4 people, and we have 1 singular shower.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and like the rent is affordable because it's split
Because
between 4 people.
it's split between 4 people.
Are you all girls as well?
No, there's 1 guy.
There's one guy.
And he's mostly there as well because his sister is there.
No, because I'm stereotyping that girls take longer to take a shower. So.
Fair enough sometimes because all of us have more hair than him.
Yeah.
As someone with long hair, yes, it is because of the hair.
As someone who washes their hair every day, don't.
I wash my hair every day too.
All right. I
Every
don't know
2
the
days.
struggle. I don't know the struggle. I just do a deck and it's dry.
No.
You know.
No, you need to make sure that you get all that conditioner into your lush look,
For
skin.
curly hair, you need to like
Especially
stay like
curly hair
this
is-
all
curly
the
hair is
time.
10 times
I
worse.
need to
Do you
stay
guys
like
like
this
my
for a
lush
solid
locks?
half hour.
Yes, immensely.
Yeah.
But yeah, curly hair is another issue. Like that is 100 times worse.
I would not want curly hair. No offense. It looks good. You look like Jesus.
Exactly, I am the Jesus.
In
I
the-
love how the only other person somebody has said that you look like Jesus to was Rebecca, and she also
Yes.
has really curly hair. So I don't know. I think that's funny.
So, ChatGPT told me that those were you went through the questions, worst ferry experience and so on. You mentioned it catching fires. It's
Twice.
for the Maltese.
Wait, my worst ferry experience, and the other one
Tell
was
us,
was when they started like forcing people to like get out of their cars and go up.
This is the
Oh, yeah.
I remember the weekend
Dude.
so clearly. The traffic was horrible too there. Tipo, I spent 5 hours in traffic like to get to the ferry, which thank fuck the Avatar from like Netflix just came out because like I spent
live
my
action
time-
one.
Yeah, so like it passed.
Oh, Legend of Aang. Okay, I was
As
like the
that.
blue people. Okay.
No, the good one, not the blue
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. I know
Blue
the
one's
live
not
action was
bad.
pretty.
I know,
the live
but-
action was pretty
But
lukewarm.
it pisses off DJ when I say that.
Uh-huh.
And then I would sleep in my car like every time without fail. And there's this random Gozo person like knocking on my window.
Yeah,
First of all, I
yeah,
get
yeah.
pissed when people knock on my window. Like, do not touch my car like that. Like,
I don't know you like that.
As that. It's like titla l-fuq. I'm like, the fuck you mean nitla l-fuq? And I pretend like I go back to see. Like titla l-fuq jew inkella ġeblu l-pulizija. I'm like, the fuck you mean? Like ħaċċemplu l-pulizija.
It was
So
very
then-
jarring. I don't remember hearing like anything about it until like it
Yes,
happened to me.
it just happened there. And like there were talks about it happening like way before even Uncle
No,
COVID.
technically it's been a rule since
Yes.
forever. They just never enforced it.
And then they decided to do audits because the ferries are older shit. Did you know that those ferries are technically illegal? Like they shouldn't be operating
What?
at all. Because
Inside
they're
their scoop.
over
The Maltese
yeah,
ones?
Yeah, the Gozo Channel ones. Like because they're over 20 years old, they technically shouldn't be operating.
And yet they're better than that ugly Greek one that they bought.
No,
most
the
recently.
Greek one. The Greek one. I love the Greek
You
one.
love the
It's
Greek.
I
because
love the
if you
Greek
end up
one.
if you end up in the top area, you could stay in your car. That's like
Even
the
if
only
you're in
good
the
thing.
I
bottom
hate
top.
it.
Really?
They let you in the bottom as well.
Oh, what the hell? Okay.
I want
Yeah,
to drive
exactly.
into
No, I
the
would not
thing
trust
and stay there.
that boat with like staying at the bottom.
I don't want to
No,
stay going up a ramp.
I love the Greek one is faster.
Is
Unless
it?
like you're like on top, because then it kind of balances out the time it takes like to get the ramp working and for everyone to go out. It takes around the same time.
hate the
But
Greek
in
one.
general it's faster. But what's interesting about the Greek one, there is so much more space than the other ferries.
Is there?
Yeah,
Because
like
they put them on the top as well.
no, as in
No,
like
not
space
like
where
the other
people
ferries have the
stay.
2 layers in,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
garage.
No, but like the places where they stay.
Uh-huh.
I feel like the Greek one just in general has more space where like people can stay, like cafeteria area, whatever, than the other one. So even like when they force everyone to go up, it's not the first time that you like either have to stay outside or there's just no space because they weren't
Because
designed
there's
to
more seats. I think the seats are ugly, but yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
what you mean.
exact.
But there's more.
But like forcing people like like they were meant to do it since like 2017 or whatever, and then just doing it once in 2023. Like me, it pissed me off like a lot. Like probably if they started like doing it when they were supposed to, it's like all right, Tefima. When they just do it randomly, it's like you
No,
gave the people
you
something
know what
and
it's
you
like
took it
spending
from
an
them.
entire day running around in Malta doing errands, because that's another thing. If you're Gozitan, you've probably had multiple like experiences in the past where your parents need to go to Malta, so there's like we're all going to Malta so we could do all of these errands that we need to do. We're going, and you know it's always like we're going to the point. We're going. What other like
Going
places
to
are
the
staples?
point.
What other places
The
are
point
staples?
is like a clear thing. Oh, well, let's do
The point,
shopping.
Big Mat, Palma. So like, we're going everywhere.
Hell, all that shit.
Insomma. And I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, yeah. So then you spend an entire day running around in the sun doing all of these errands essentially. You get back, you're in the car, it's like 10 p.m. because that's another thing. They'll always wait until like very late to finally take you back. 10 p.m., you're in the car. Don't you dare tell me to go up. I'm already sleeping in that car. I'm already asleep. They have woken me up literally because I'll fall asleep in the back and they'll be like,
And they always
Girl.
knock on the window. They always knock on the window.
You don't like people knocking
No,
on your window.
no.
Where are they meant to knock?
No, they're meant to tell you to like go up. It just like do it on like the door.
you can
Alright.
yes,
just-
and you
like,
could also just
you can
first
just wave.
or like
I mean, if you're
audibly
asleep
say
when he
it.
waves, you're not gonna see it.
No, but you can audibly say it at least before going to knock. Most of them will
Sorry.
typically knock on the glass
Yeah.
before anything else. I was gonna say there was this one Halloween, the sea was rough, and I think the fast ferry was still relatively new, right?
Okay.
So they were still using it even when the sea was rough. So much throw up was going around. Oh my god, shit was flying
Have you ever thrown up on the
everywhere.
fast ferry?
Huh?
Have you ever thrown up on the fast ferry?
No.
I've thrown up once.
I haven't. To be honest, I used to get really seasick when I was younger, but the only time I've thrown up was on the Gozo Channel. I was like, obviously I was seasick, but I've never gotten sick. And then my dad unwrapped a tuna sandwich, and that, for some
my
reason that
God.
set me up. I like tuna, but for some reason the smell really set me
No, I
off.
can imagine that, huh? Like a tuna and mayo sandwich when you're already a bit woozy. Anyway.
But yes, there are many horror stories about it just being so rough that people were throwing up.
You get seasick, David.
I do get seasick. I get seasick on the fast ferry. I don't get seasick on the Gozo Channel.
Yeah, but like the
But
fast
I've never
ferry
thrown up.
is
I got
different.
close on my
It's like a 45-minute roller coaster.
Yeah, it
On
is.
the best of days.
I remember.
It's
the
really
first time-
relaxed, huh?
It's
I
nice.
don't get
It
seasick,
depends
so-
on the weather.
I remember
Yeah.
the first time I ever caught the fast ferry. It was. I remember we were going to a farm. This was in Fairs here. This was like 4 years ago, or 3 years ago. Oh, when we arrived, it was really bad the weather. Oh, it was the first time catching it. I was like, man, I'm such a baby, bro. I got on this. It's a bit windy. I feel that. But I came here. We met the other cousins. Like the fast ferry was like borderline not supposed to work. It was that bad. I was like, man, I'm shay. I wanted to all the insides come outside.
The roughest I ever got the fast ferry was New Year's second year. So we're saying 2020.
You got
Three?
this. Okay.
I think.
I think so.
I think. Was it? No, 2022. New Year's 2022. So it was turning to 2023. So over 2 years ago. And it was really, really rough, and people were just throwing up all the time, but it was still operating because it was New Year's the day after, and they were trying to get people back to Malta. But I just put my earphones in, I downloaded like 3 episodes of Fairy Tale, and I was just chilling. I was watching the Grand Magic Games arc at that point. That was peak. Second year uni, they don't make him like that anymore.
You're reminding me. So after the Nadur, this was the weekend of the carnival in Summa, and I'm going back to Malta. It's Sunday night, and the ferry was busy to the point where there was still time for the ferry to leave, and technically there was still time for the gates to be open. They had to close them though because the ferry was full, like it was over capacity. And first off, when I was going to buy my ticket, there was so much line skipping, so much pushing, and I was just like, you know that these are Maltese people because they like this never typically happens because you know that at the very least, even if they're about to close the gate, they'll leave it open just for you. Like there's no rush. If you are going to buy the ticket, they will probably let you on, even if they have to stall for a minute or two. And
They
then
chill
they're
like that.
yeah, and then they were like, they understand the struggle, and then they were not letting people in. And they're like, no more, it's full. And there was this old lady who's like, what do you mean it's full? But in Maltese, obviously. And they're like, it's full, we can't let many more people up. And she's like, why do so many Gozitans need to go to Malta? And I was like, girl, I'm like one of 3 Gozitans here. These are all Maltese people coming up from Carnival. What do you mean, why do we need... Why did you need to come to Gozo?
The comment is really out of place. Huh?
Yeah, I didn't come to Gozo like last carnival weekend. Like I had something on the Friday off, and if you don't come like Thursday or Friday,
Oh.
even Friday you'll find traffic. So I said Saturday.
No,
there's-
Friday was terrible trying to catch a boat home. And I lived
yeah.
like 15 minutes away from where I were. Like 15 minutes walk. So even less by car. When I ordered the boat, it was like 20 minutes away.
Lalo.
And
Studentry.
it was like 20 euros. And I was
Lalo.
like, I don't care if it's like 1 a.m., I am walking home.
Yes,
Walking home this dark road without any lights, I do not care. I am not waiting 20 minutes to then pay 20 euros to take a 5-minute ride.
It was really hot, so I had to change my shirt. I hope you guys like the new one. I also got an energy drink, so.
I have an empty glass.
Shout out MPSC.
How many booms do you give it?
This one gets 2 big booms. Boom! Boom! It just tastes like Red Bull. The next question, I think this is quite interesting because we talk about the ferry, we talk about the commute. Let's talk about the social life. I have some questions here, but I think they're the standard ones. So let me just refresh my memory. Okay. Do you mostly, when you are in Malta, because this is something I notice, I feel, so you have to correct me if I'm wrong, you're the Gozitan ones. Do you find yourself that you stick more with the other Gozitans? Tipo, mush, like, tribalism, ma tipo xtafhom diġà maybe.
Initially, definitely. I mean, I don't know about his experience because he was the only Gozitan when he
I think mine is a separate.
he was the
case
first
that I get
Gozitan in
into.
Malta ever.
That's crazy, bro. How did you do it? Did you have to swim?
No. You see, I just walk through water.
Oh my,
He
man,
is
he looks
Jesus.
like Jesus and he performs.
Swimming hadn't been invented in Gozo by
In
that
Nistra,
time. So we just have to
true.
walk.
Advanced,
He's true.
yeah?
He's telling the truth.
That's crazy.
But
Pioneer.
first year, yes, because you're going up there, and more often than not, you're probably already sharing a flat with people you know. Like you probably already agreed with me and my friends, for example. Before we actually had to move to Malta, like a year before, like the summer before our last year of sixth form, we were already talking about how we're splitting the flats because some of us had flats already, and we were like, oh, I'll room with this person, you're this person, we'll be like this much distance apart. Then it's until you start making more friends. First year, personally, I mostly stuck to the Gozitans because there weren't many people I was clicking with initially in software dev. That changed over time, but currently I'm not hanging out much with Maltese people, period. Like you guys are basically the only exception because everyone in my course is foreign. Mostly. We're like 4 Maltese people and then like 10 foreigners, right? So I'm mostly either spending time with Gozitans or foreigners, not really Maltese people.
For me, the experience completely different. Like, I had to make Maltese friends as such.
Because you didn't start at uni, you started
No,
in
I
sixth form.
started early at sixth form. Like,
First Gozitan ever there.
no, actually, Actually, there was a solid streak of like, I think it was 7 years that there had been a Gozitan at SAC or something
Oh
like
wow,
that.
all right.
Still,
Like,
keep up the tradition.
as that,
Did anyone replace you after?
there was someone who, when I was in second year, they were in first
Okay.
year, but then they didn't do second year.
Ah.
Did you immediately start living in a flat?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky where like my dad is Maltese,
Oh, okay.
so
all right.
we already had a
Ah,
place
you
there.
are a half breed.
Yes, I'm a half breed. Bringing down the Gozitan credibility even more. So I like my experience of living in Malta is a bit different.
Alright.
Like my dad also works in Malta, so it kind of just was natural. If
You
that
see,
makes
some of us
sense.
don't have that privilege.
Exactly.
You're a privileged boy, Michael.
It's why like some people still ask me to this day. Like I'm a leader of scouts, whatever, and sometimes the younglings they like come up to me like, Isma, I want to come to sixth form more. I'm like, do you have everything prepared? Because like you're not gonna do the same things you do at university. Realistically, you're not gonna go up there, live in a flat with random people, because realistically you're gonna be the only goods in there as well.
Yeah.
You're not gonna cook for yourself. You're not gonna like figure out the buses and all that. So like it's helpful if you have someone there at least with you, like a brother or something like that who's attending university.
Your younglings are much nicer to you. You know, when I started coaching,
Oh,
like
no,
they
no,
went
no,
up
no,
to the
no,
main
no.
coach and they're like, "Who's this ugly guy?" And they're like pointing this. What did I do?
That was me dressed as a little boy.
Ouch.
But
I'm,
like I remember, so quasi I think it was like day 3. People figured out I was Gozitan because at SAC like the sixth form experience is completely different to Gozo as
Okay.
well. Like we had like home classes as such.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we didn't have that. No,
Exactly. So like we're there. I'm stuck with these people. I was bio sciences, so biology, chemistry, and soc. Same people all the time. Same 26 motherfuckers all the
Alright.
time. And I remember like at the very beginning, the first Magis session. You have no idea what Magis is. Is that
Okay. What
the
Harry
first
Potter?
Yes, as such.
Was this the thing on Wednesdays, man?
Yes,
Yes,
the
yes,
Wednesday thing. Like they did like this like class bonding thing. And it came like one of the questions was like they split us in two. And like go like be in a line according to locality from A to Z. And I was confused. I'm like, wait, locality in Malta or in Gozo? And that's where like it came out. Like, what do you mean Malta or Gozo? Like I'm Gozitan, but I live in Malta now. And
Should have kept your mouth shut and seen how
then
long you could
Chismo.
keep it going.
As I mean, then eventually the nickname Gozo got given to me, and like it became so prominent. Like 3 months in, we're in a what PSCD lesson or whatever the heck they're called,
PDP.
PDP as that, and like one of my classmates, reminder, like biology, chemistry, soc, and we had an intermediate together. All these classes for the past 3 months, we've been in the same class. Like talking, kind of group chat. We were quite active on our group chat in summer. And she's like, I genuinely don't know your actual name. I just know you as Gozo.
To be fair, it also like spread to Gozo pretty quick. Like
so-
a bunch of Gozitans immediately knew that he was being referred to as just Gozo.
That's that, because then in university, like friend groups like started schismo, like combining as that.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I'm talking about when you like sixth form. Like even when you were still in sixth form, the news had already
Yes,
traveled to
yes,
Gozo that you were
exactly.
being referred to as Gozo.
Oh god, ma, I remember there was the specific app that I will not mention for students.
The ops.
The
ops.
the ops, like they had a challenge, like post your like timetable or something, and SAC we started like a solid month before in Gozo, like sixth form. And I remember posting mine, and like half the people like, where did you get your timetable from? And I had to say, explain to people, no, I'm not coming to sixth form in Gozo.
You should have released a public statement.
Nasab
Guys, please stop contacting me. I am not going to your
you're filthy.
your
filthy
less
sixth form.
privileged
I
sixth
am
form.
going to the high class St. Aloysius College.
Where we have McDonald's a 5-minute walk away.
Where even everyone else in Malta hates us.
Whoa, we're not St. Martin's on Bath.
I don't know. I've never heard of St. Martin, so
Sac
clearly
do it
they're not
best.
talked
Sac do
about
it
as
best.
much.
Sac do it best.
Sac ball sack.
The big sack.
I remember like something that made me that made me a lot of friends was like actually building into the stereotype.
Issa.
Of being the Gozitan
The
guy.
Gozitan, yes, is that. So I remember like telling people, you guys did all levels on pieces of paper, no? We did them on like stone tablets.
Ah.
Oh yeah, like I need to go back home every weekend so that I feed my goats.
What was the wildest thing you managed to convince people was real?
Wildest thing I managed to convince people was real. Probably like the farm thing, that I actually lived on a farm in Gozo. I had 2 goats, Tessie and Bessie. Like I gave them names, and
Chetambetta. That's the names I go for.
like I managed to convince someone that I didn't go to a lesson because I had to go down to Gozo because Tessie was pregnant and giving birth.
I mean, you say this, but that is not like the most unbelievable thing.
I think we have a
Yeah.
better story for gaslighting someone. We made somebody believe that David was Egyptian for like a year and a half at university. And they kept believing it until we just told them it was a joke.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what if you spoke to them in gibberish and they were like, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't speak Egyptian.
Who
I
do you
don't
think? Who do you
understand."
think fell for this?
I don't. Is it someone from my course?
No.
From AI.
I'm not sure.
It's a very easy.
So I'll tell you after Philka.
just take a wild guess.
Take a wild guess.
Imagine they're listening
You know
to
this
this
person,
podcast
bro.
right now.
Some
Take
Jennies.
take a guess in the comments, guys. No, it's not.
Okay.
There's a comment section.
Look.
Yes.
Ooh.
No.
Yes, it goes on YouTube, bro.
Oh, it's a so.
Who is the most gullible person in AI that you know? No, I'm in on the joke.
In on the
I'm in on the joke.
I know you
Ema.
are, but you said most gullible person.
I
was
don't
like,
think I'm gullible.
No, I was like, time for a joke myself. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm like trying to go through the list of people in AI. Is it from your friend group?
Let's go through the list of people in AI. Who do you know in AI?
Etienne?
What the fuck is this?
Carta بالبيت.
What is it?
واحدة ecstasy.
What the ecstasy?
What the ecstasy?
No,
I've had that in my pocket for ages, waiting for the right time.
That's a very funny joke. So that's
no,
a
it's
good
not
bit.
Etienne.
No, I assume it's not Etienne. He's in very
It's not
gullible.
one of the Gozitans.
Huh?
It's not one of the Gozitans.
It's not one of the Gozitans. It's.
I'm surprised it's taking you
It's
this
not
long.
someone from your friend group.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. No, because I asked.
Take a guess, man. You'll probably get it before.
So I'm assuming someone who went to sack.
No.
No.
You don't know them.
No,
I
this
think.
this happened in
But
sixth
like
form.
to be fair, I don't talk to like
This happened in 6th form.
Oh, in
Reno or
university.
It's none of
Isaac,
those guys. You're overthinking this way too much.
Emma.
Yes.
So
How did
ask
it take?
Karan,
Ah,
take-
stupid.
Yeah, exactly. You see, he gets it. He gets it.
Okay.
He knows.
Somebody
He
ask
knows.
her.
He knows
Sorry.
that's why he doesn't. How did it take you so long?
Because honestly, it skipped my mind because I'm like, I'm Emma.
Yeah, but you're Emma with one N.
Because you think no one else can have your name.
It's not
I
even
mean,
the same
how
name,
many
it's
people
spelled
do you know
differently.
I
Emma
also
with
don't
one
think
M?
she's. I also didn't take her to be that gullible, to be honest.
The less we say about that, the better. Anyways, that was the next question that ChatGPT
Gay.
has given me. I think I remember it, but let me just double.
Social life.
Do you feel? All right. Not do you feel? There is this. The stereotypes. As Gozitans. The stereotypes. Oh, inkom kolla tafu lil kulħadd, inkom kolla bir-razzett.
But it's true, like everyone
I
does it.
disagree. Everyone knows my parents, not me.
Yeah, oh, that's so true. Everyone, like, in Gozo, there's the Laqmijiet, like the nicknames.
Okay.
Which I was surprised wasn't a thing in Malta, to be honest.
Yes,
is,
it is
Emma,
in
it's not
some
as
places,
prominent.
but
It's not
like,
as
It
prominent.
depends on where you're from.
you can kind of like find everyone's nickname in Gozo quite easily.
Like I've asked Maltese people if they have like a family name they go by, and they've been like, I don't know what you're talking
Even I
about.
think it's our generation that don't really know about that. As you know, when I look at like my dad, for example, like kolla kienu
And well, like
jafhom
ours is
bil-
still
bil-
prominent
bil-
even within our generation.
Yeah.
As that,
right?
like some people, like even in secondary, like we didn't used to call them by their name, by their nickname.
Well, that's also something that they did. Like our parents used to do.
Yes,
that.
exactly.
There are some people like that in Malta, but not that many. Like maybe
it's-
2 or 3
it's
people,
more-
you know.
I feel like in Malta, it's more like a Hamallu thing.
You think so?
Like how many people in university? Not to say that there aren't any Hamalli at university, but how many people
There
do
are
you
way
know
too many.
in university that like are given a family nickname and are called that?
As in their whole family has that nickname or just
Yeah, their whole family.
None.
Yeah,
Exactly.
None that I know.
So I as that in Malta, I think it's more like a sort of hamallu thing, like to
I think it's just
But
But
natural.
I
in
do
Gozo,
know
it's
personal
normal.
nicknames though, and very often it's a play on the surname.
Yes, exact.
So
But no, in Gozo it's different. It's
What's
usually
yours?
so. My family technically has three.
Okay.
The OG one is Tatlito.
The Klitu.
Tatlito.
Uh-huh.
Then actually there's four. At some point, like they used to call my nanu Zabuji because he was from Zabuj and
Zabuj.
moved to like Rabat. Then it became like literally my grandma's name, Tavitorine, because my grandma used to be a maths teacher, and everyone used to like, if you ask anyone over the age of 40 about my grandma, they'll probably know her. Leads into the stereotype as well. And now it's Speziara, Tal Speziara and something. So,
Okay.
like some people it's just the same, but sometimes it evolves a bit.
It changes with the times.
Mine, for example, is Tagaitan. Because don't.
what did I didn't do anything.
Yeah, you smirked a little.
I
and
didn't
it's like,
smirk. You saw it in my eyes. Saw
no,
it in my eyes.
It's
You're trying to paint me in a bad
my
light.
great grandfather was named Gaetano.
Okay, I assumed as much.
That makes sense.
And yeah, I feel like you had more like range in nicknames than us because we've been Tagaitan for ages.
Exact.
Because I feel like relatively they stayed more or less in the same areas where they're living. Like most of them were policemen. I think all of my dad and most of his brothers, if not all of them, were policemen. I think they've all worked in construction or currently work in construction as well as like on the side. So like they've all been doing the same things, which is like you've had branches
Yeah,
here and
like
there.
we've had side quests.
But it's
Yeah.
just like it's a nickname after the name. It's like if David had a family, they'd just be the Tadabes.
Yeah, but like then again, sometimes it's also like I know there are some nicknames which are generally like words that you have no idea where the fuck they came from.
I feel like those are the most fun.
I would say them, but like I don't feel like they deserve they're not people I like.
Okay,
so
they
we
no
won't mention
publicity.
them.
All right.
We won't mention them, even though the nickname might be kind of cool. We won't.
Yes,
mention
I'll
them.
tell you. I'll tell you
Off
after.
camera.
Off
Imagine
camera.
your family nickname being Top 3 Hour.
Oh my god.
Is that actually somebody's?
No, I don't think so, but I think it's
Imagine.
really funny.
Oh,
Tabret for toast.
Tabret for
Tabret
toast.
for-
ذاك الطفل مسكين before tea هيدولو.
Tat toast.
toast. لا داك
As a
صفريتو.
toast is like a plausible nickname.
Yeah, no, 100% that toast is a plausible nickname. Like you could tell me it's someone I'd be like,
Massa sofritos.
honestly, you could probably be like, doc min tat toast, and I'd be like, naħseb smajt bijem.
As a, like probably
Tal
like
990, yo.
some generic nicknames that probably exist
yes,
are
yes.
like a sunny.
Yes,
Like-
yes. These are super common.
Exact.
Even in Malta, they exist.
Il Millionario, or like there's something that's like similar, someone's
In
name.
Malta, the thing is, I don't think they're
They've sort of died out.
one. I think. Ina Nara, I see from my dad's side of the family. My dad's from Hazabar, so he's from the south. From the south, most of the people know my family by the family nickname.
The South.
So, seriously?
The South.
The south, yes. most of the people from Hazabar, for example, know my family by the family nickname. Mama, for example, from my mom's side, she's from Birkirkara. Both my grandparents weren't from Birkirkara, so there's
Hold
no
up,
family nickname.
you're telling me your family nickname is not the War Gaming?
Let's not
Yo,
do
Tal
it.
War Gaming.
Let's not.
Damn.
That started with my dad. For seaside, but
Yeah, but like
you look like a
one of my
warmonger, to
family-
be fair.
like a Viking ready to.
It's like a warlord.
two pillars.
Like,
The weapon shipment coming in soon, by any chance.
Like an Egyptian pirate.
like an Egyptian pirate. Tal Egyptian pirate,
You have to see his old profile pictures on Facebook and the things I used to tell him about him. I can't say it on it.
Well, yeah, like some of the stereotypes they're stereotypes for a reason because they're true. Like everyone knowing everyone, like you know
the everyone being related though, I find is only ever true to me. You know how many
Do-
people I know that I am
Uh-huh.
related to, but they're not related to each other because they're from like very separate
yes,
branches
exactly.
of the
Like they'd
family.
be once removed
And I'm
or
always,
stuff like that.
always the one that's in the middle of the web,
Interconnector.
basically.
If you like, it is a genuine like skill for like Gozitan Nanniet to like be able to connect everyone. Like, duck you minna.
That's my mom's- that's my mom's hidden
Here
talent.
to there to there,
Do you know-
and they'd find the connection somehow.
I'm imagining my mom has a skill tree, right? And like she's unlocked the one branch that lets her find
Like-
see everyone's info immediately.
Do you know that trend where they like take two random things, like Maradona to
Yes,
Joe
yes,
Biden,
yes.
connected. This
Yeah,
just goes
the
Dude, your
6
mom-
degrees,
your mom
the
has a
6
hidden
degrees
room
of
at your
freedom
house.
theory, where like you will know anyone through like 6 people. Like in Gozo, it's at a stretch 2.
Yes.
Asra.
At a
Honestly,
stretch
yes.
2, usually 1. Like you'll know
Asra.
someone who knows this person.
Like not necessarily related. I was
Yeah.
actually talking to my mom about this in the car, because they know the owner of this place. They know who the owner is. My dad literally parked yesterday to pick me up, and he's like, this is blank person's name." And I was like, "Okay, so obviously you know this."
His name is blank person.
No, I
Yo.
just can't remember the
Whose
name he
parents
said.
did not love him.
Yeah, give them a
And
farmhouse
by the
for
way, this
free
happens
next
every time there's
They'll
Maltese
mention it.
people renting a farmhouse in Gozo. He
Okay.
just always happens to know whose is whose and whose land is whose. And my mom was talking about because either you're related to them, you personally know them, or you know them through somewhere else. Like those are like the 3 ways that like everyone here is connected.
Like even people, like even going up to Malta, like university, or like our age group, we only have 3 secondary schools
Okay.
and 1 sixth form. So
And technically, you only have the option of either 2, because one of them is all male, one of
Yes,
them is all female,
female,
and then
and
you
then
have
you-
the co-ed, which only became co-ed as soon as we entered
Exact.
Form 1, because before it was also 2 separate schools.
The secondary
Still
schools, these.
still the government ones. They were
Alright,
2
okay,
separate
okay.
schools, like from boys and girls. And then when we entered Form 1, that was the first year they decided
Okay.
to
Exact.
connect.
But there's the church schools, I assume.
Yes,
that
then
are
there's
separate.
the
similar
all-females church school,
system.
all-males church school, and that's it.
I think the first time we met was. Do you remember the?
You were in
speed date-
seminary and I was in
Yes, yes, but
conservatory.
the speed dating thing.
Yes, yes, yes,
That
yes, yes,
is
yes, yes.
that is such a rite of passage
So,
thing.
okay,
What way?
They used
so
to.
Wait,
used to
this
get-
is so funny going after. I'm mostly related to everyone. Also, we did speed dating.
So we were like what, 11, 12? I think this was
I
Farm
think
1, Farm 2.
13 maybe.
You think so? This was Farm 3. Could have been,
Could
yes,
be.
okay. And essentially what they did was they took us to, I remember they took us to Tatchaula,
As a,
which is a smaller area in Rabat, Gozo.
Okay.
And I know because I used to go to a youth group there as well. Because they used to
go
give
to
us
youth group?
because literally the youth group would last like 30 minutes. We could do whatever we wanted afterwards, and they always made pancakes with Nutella afterwards. It was literally so
Weird.
great. It was essentially a regular hangout with friends, and then they'd drive us home as well in the minivan. So perfect. But anyway, they got the seminary for that particular year. They got the
Exact.
girls from that particular year. They split us up into 3 separate groups as well, maybe according to classes. I'm
Yes,
not
I
sure.
think it was according to class.
Because we had different home classes. And literally they were like, "Oh, you're gonna be." I can't remember what the whole purpose of it
I
was.
think it was like, oh, you talk to you, like 2 minutes, and then switch.
Yeah, no, but I don't remember
But I
what the
don't rem-
purpose
Exact,
of
I
having
don't
us meet
remember-
up
exact.
was, because
I
there's
don't- I
typically a
genuinely
purpose.
don't
I have a
remember.
confession.
Like-
I've done this at St. Aloysius. It was called
No,
Form
no,
3.
it's
It was
it's like
called the
a good way,
relationship seminar.
very good icebreakers. But like
We had
I don't
that
know
too,
why
but
they
this was
just
Yeah, I
got
had
different.
done
us.
this as well.
Okay.
Like we had an
As a
entire day
secondary-
dedicated to the
Right,
relationship
Yes.
seminar.
Relationship
But
But this was literally we're sitting down. There are people in front of us, and we're just going in circles until
Yes.
like that's how I met Lou and Carl. I'm
That's
pretty
how you
sure.
met Luan. Then that's
how I
how you
met Lou
met
and
me
Carl.
as well. Because I was in the
You
same class
too,
as Luan
probably, but
Carl.
that's how I met Lou and
exact,
Carl.
that's how.
And
'cause
I
then
think
there was the
Alexander
whole-
as well.
Then there was a whole group, whatever.
Yeah. Intermingling of groups. But yeah, I cannot remember because I remember there was also one where they took us to Arp to Tapinu and they told us about
Yes,
spiritually
yes,
adopting
yes.
babies.
What?
We were spiritually adopted babies. Like they gave us a small
Yes.
certificate, and they're just like, you know how many babies die and go to heaven? You can spiritually adopt those babies.
What?
And so they gave us like a small paper, and we wrote down the names of our spiritually adopted babies.
So you have spiritual...
Church school
It's
stuff.
church school
Regular
stuff.
I went
school
to a
stuff.
church school. They never
Spiritual
did
baby.
this.
This was Form 3, I remember.
can't remember what the heck.
So
I
have you
remember.
abandoned your spiritual children?
He doesn't remember his name.
I have the certificate somewhere, I think.
Bro, it's like
Unless
you're-
they've been thrown
It's
out.
like your Nintendo and he's been waiting for like 10
Legit,
years.
I named my spiritually adopted child Sora for the character from Kingdom Hearts. Because you can't just suddenly, we didn't know this was going to happen. You can't just
Exact, you
suddenly
can't
spring on a
prepare.
fake baby on me and tell
Like
me
you
to
know
name
how
it.
like
I
parents
named it the
usually
thing that was
think hard
constantly on my
about
mind
their-
at the
Yeah.
time. So I was
Oh
like,
my God.
Sora from Kingdom Hearts, sure, let's go.
Oh my days.
Rather that than Chetta. That too, they never specified a gender, I think. We just got
I
to
don't
choose
think
the
so. I
gender,
think they
which
just
honestly, very progressive of them.
Especially for 10 years ago.
No, not okay.
No, it would be. No,
We were Form
wait,
3 for
yes,
sure. It's
yes,
almost
yes.
10 years ago, but we
Exact.
were Form 3 for sure. Because
Unk status.
I remember Octavia was there
My
and she
Form
was
3
still
is 10
relatively
years
new.
ago, I think.
Huh?
My Form 3 is
Yours,
10
but
years
you're a
ago.
year older than us.
All right.
Yeah, so like even
You're
like
old.
people our age, you would have
I'm
an
wearing
idea
a
of who's
t-shirt.
who.
This is greetings Haz, bro.
There was but those were always so awkward because you have essentially a large group of girls that do not interact
Bro,
with guys at all, and then you have a large group of boys who've
that's
never
like-
interacted with girls before.
That
or
was
rarely
Going
have.
to sixth form was a mind blow from like
That for
not
me.
just being like being like
I think that's everyone who
pure
went to a
male
church
as a-
school.
That's like
It's everyone.
something that they don't prepare
The
you
only
for at all.
people I ever interacted with in my life that were girls were my sisters. And you don't interact with your sister the same way you interact.
Well, yeah, no.
And that was a complete...
They're like genderless blobs that live.
Exactly. That was
No,
crazy.
but so like going up to uni, for example, like you'd have an idea of the people there. Maybe like in my case, maybe this person and that person I wouldn't know because I was in that sixth form. But
Honestly,
then
there was not many people from like my classes in sixth form in uni. I'm gonna be honest.
no, there were a few.
But
like,
you
Hanan
weren't in the
of course.
Gozitan one.
yeah, exactly.
الكلاس
أنا
تاعنا
we
ta' sixth form
represented
كنا
both.
nofs
Yeah, but I
il-course.
never had any classes with Etienne, for example, in sixth form.
Issa?
I only knew him through a friend.
Lalo.
Exactly. And then like you know them to a friend and then like you become friends after whatever.
No, I was
'Cause
literally worried
things
about the
stick
fact that
together.
I didn't know anyone going into computing, and then this friend was like, "Oh, Etienne's going there." I was like, "I don't know who this man is." And he's like, "You know who he is."
when I was
You know
going
who
into
he is. I was like, "What?"
when I was going
Okay,
into
we have to cut
pharmacy.
that for his own sake, Miski. Aaron Kish.
When I was going into pharmacy, it was like a whole thing. Like we were like trying to find people also going into pharmacy. So I knew a friend of mine going into pharmacy, and then we found out, oh, hankunu like 26. We were more Gozitans for like the best part of 2 years than we were men in pharmacy. And the second I found out there's another
That's
guy
a
in the
weird like
course,
ratio
as
to
a-
draw. Gozitans to men.
Yes, but it's like
Yeah, because pharmacy is very like
I was,
known to be like
I
a
was
very
like the
female.
connector. I was like looking for
ratioed.
people. I was like deliberately like on the eye out for people. Like the good things we found them all, and they were like, this person, the Maltia, Jaya, whatever pharmacy. I didn't Dihla pharmacy, and we couldn't find a fucking man, nowhere. And then on the day, thankfully,
Because you just attract the ladies.
Pussy magnet, bro. Fema ruqtat.
Emmu
Sarah,
ma-
there's one right there. He's out of frame. Tara.
That's a really pretty cat.
Ela, boss. Alright, he's not gonna come here.
He's
He's intimidated by the other cat on my shirt.
people being related to each other. It's like you find out someone's related to you just that randomly.
We know a story about that, but we can't say that here.
I was thinking about that as well.
We
I
all
think I
thought of the
might
same
know
story.
the
Do we?
story. Do we?
I don't know. This
You know
might-
the story.
I do know the
Okay,
story.
I think it might be
I
the
think
same
all of
story.
those
know
know
the
that
story.
story.
Yes, I mean, the person introduced themselves through the story for a very long time as well.
Yes,
So
okay, then that is the same story.
We know this.
That's
But-
insane.
We're
I
not
was
gonna say
there.
it.
I
that
was
is
there.
a story
I
for
was
Bread for
there.
Toast After
You
Dark.
were there.
I was
You heard the
there.
story.
I made that happen technically.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
You're a monster.
No,
He's
not
the-
exactly, but like yeah.
This part.
To be
we
fair, I
can't
highly doubt
elaborate
he
on
knew.
this.
As that.
What?
To be fair, I highly doubt he knew.
Okay. If you didn't
No,
know-
I found out when they found out.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not keep talking about this.
All right. The Bread for Toast After Dark special
Subscribe to the
Patreon
Patreon.
exclusive.
OnlyFans.
€100 a month subscription, not including VAT.
But like if you think about, I know like cases where like people have been dating and then they find out they're like second cousins. Or
No,
some
thankfully I find out before anything happens.
Yes.
But it's like,
But, like,
this
it's-
guy's cute. And I'm like, I think you're related. I was like, fuck.
They need an app like they have in Iceland.
Stuff. Yes.
You know, Iceland has an app where you can check if you're related.
Apparently.
Because there's less people living in Iceland than in Malta and Gozo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane. Okay.
So they still qualify for the World Cup.
No,
not
I learned
much,
pretty
eh?
quickly that if I'm interested in someone, I need to mention their name to my mom to see if she says we're
As
related or not.
You'll find out like just mentioning it.
And they always know how. They
Bliss,
always.
Tamil search Bliss Skill Tree. The
No, legit.
Atlas.
She always knows how. I'm just like, oh, I know. She's like, you're related to him from your dad's side, from his mom's side, from her mom's side.
From the cat's daughter to the cactus.
And I'm just like, how do you remember all this, man? This is another tree that she's unlocked, essentially.
It's
Apart from the
special
skill
knowledge,
tree,
right?
it's another tree
It's
she's unlocked.
ingrained into most Gozitans. Like that skill is ingrained into most Gozitans where you're able to track.
I don't know how they
your
manage
family.
before
My
social
reflection.
media.
I'm so sunburnt. I'm getting so sunburnt. I'm seeing my reflection.
Is it not just more easy to like find like someone from Malta?
Okay, wait.
Not necessarily, because I have cousins in Malta as well.
yeah, so,
I
I
have
mean,
cousins
I'm
in
half
Australia, I have
Maltese.
cousins in America, I have cousins all over the world, apparently.
Wait. Dating Maltese people and dating Gozitan people is
It is different as
worlds
well, but,
apart.
like-
so
Is
different.
it?
Yes.
I've still found out I'm related to Maltese people without like.
Explain the differences.
Explain.
Yeah,
curious.
explain the differences.
Explain.
Ooh, mana.
It's not as frequent for me, but yeah.
Like it's been a while since Gozitan, whatever.
Ema
But
Michael
like,
pussy magnet almost.
You're
Yeah,
right.
Michael.
but like I remember there being a thing where like Gozitans are afraid to like move to Malta in general. Like even if it's not just universities, they're like actually living there. And I used to true to myself, I used to always be like, no, I want to go to Malta, whatever. I don't want to stay in Gozo.
But to be fair, at the age that you're like having to make that move, it's also like a very big change.
yes.
Like it's not like if I went now, it wouldn't be that big of a difference. But at age 18, I was like, oh, this is huge.
Yeah,
this is
there
big.
is a big culture shock when you're
huge.
there.
Massive.
You
You know, this is massive.
Slow tape.
My God, I can't do the ninja picture. Guys, go on our YouTube channel and look at episode 20. And the thing that YouTube suggests is just the split second where
I wouldn't
ninja
recommend that
appears.
because watch them changes in like a few years, like how the thumbnails generated,
Could
and watch
be,
it be a
Uiva.
random one, another
Uiva.
like thing
This is for the ones who are listening as the episodes come out.
for the real ones.
The real ones,
The real
like the
ones,
fans.
Someone like Michael who listens to all of them.
Yes, I have. Go.
I stopped listening to them because I felt cheated when I was kicked out of both Scatoonies.
Scaftuni, yeah?
Scaftuni.
I was telling them-
Take it up with the person counting the
The
points.
points.
They are inside, you can go and fight
I
with
was
them.
telling them. I told them it's straight racism. That last time they kicked you out. I say they did it because you were online and all that.
Alright, as soon as the mics cut during that episode, you were like, man, I'm not lying, because the sound was not working.
It was genuine. You know how many
but
things I
you
had
know-
open on my laptop because I had a screenshot of the board so I could keep track. Because other than that, I could not see the board from the because of the light. So I was keeping track. I was trying to hear, but it kept cutting out. I have the video going on. I have the
It didn't
audio
work
at the
as well
bottom,
as
so
we
I
wanted
could so
it
I could
to.
pay attention to what was going on audio wise as well. And I was constantly
Insurance
going.
tree.
And then I had like another window open for the button.
It didn't work as well as we wanted it to, but thank you for trying. You technically should have had the tiebreaker, you know, but you can take it up with the person.
They owe me
counting
a
the
trophy
points.
now.
No, we don't.
Wait, you might have not won the second part.
Oh no.
So,
you made it to the final of the first one. No.
no, that one, to be fair, we didn't accidentally count the point that you should have had. Gozitan was counting the points that time. So
Allora,
that way you can't
we're covered from
you
both
can't
sides.
But it's
accuse
fine
us.
to be racist. If your Gozitan is fine to be racist.
And even if
against
you
other
had that
Gozitans.
point, you still would have been eliminated.
No, I'm fine with Gozitan's being
Gozitan
racist
hating-
towards Gozitans. Maltese people, it irks me though.
As that there's like some
Because sometimes there's a genuine sense of superiority.
Yeah. Yes.
The first time.
Sometimes you see it.
Like they'll talk to you like you're a puppy, like, oh, you're from Gozo.
I'm
a grown woman, man.
You're from the little tiny island, right? Where they,
How
where they don't
is
have
it in
TV.
Malta?
Yes,
Oh, you
Sanam
must
Lo.
I
so
met people that
scared.
didn't know we have a general hospital here.
Sanam Lo.
What do you think? What do you
as-
think happens when a woman is pregnant? You think a helicopter comes down, takes her up?
I
and
had
then-
this question. What if it's a cesarean?
What?
What if it's a cesarean? They do it in
I
Gozo,
think it's
right?
still in
Yes,
Gozo.
yes, this is no.
I had this discussion like a week
Our
ago.
general hospital is
certain-
old as hell, but we do have
No,
everything that we
ow,
need.
ow.
You could do most of them in Gozo.
I
It
saw-
needs to be a really rare case for you to be taken all the way to Malta.
Malta.
As someone who is in healthcare, like Gozo General Hospital is at least 10 years in advance of Mater Day.
Ha!
Still, Mater Day is not good.
At least, like Mater Day is. If I ever get kicked out of my job for whatever reason, because I say this, like well on Mater Day is so behind in terms of medicine. But anyways,
Like what? Like in terms of practice, or just like the stock of medicine
no,
they have?
just like the general
The
like quality
infrastructure.
of
Okay.
like
okay.
private hospitals. Like I've had placements at Karen Grek, which isn't a just more, and like the way they do stuff is generally like maybe 10 years behind like what you'd see in the UK. But like Mater Day is shithole.
Was that a beer or wasp?
That was a wasp.
Nah.
The
That is
Gozitan
a wasp.
wildlife is threatening you.
You live, you learn.
You live.
Now,
No, the-
okay, we do a special bread for toast Scaftuni mini,
Yeah.
okay, for Gozitans only.
I thought you were gonna introduce the Maltese 10 minutes power hour,
Oh yes.
What's that?
where we're
Yeah,
just
we're-
talking
we're-
about
we're-
these.
we're meant to talk in Maltese.
You want to do it
Tkellem
now?
bil-Malti.
Namlu
Qegħdin
Scaftuni.
Malta hawnhekk.
Mela, ejja namlu
How
kat,
this?
u namlu Scaftuni. We don't have a trophy.
Aw, inti
Le,
kellek
le,
dik
nara
il-ħaġa.
mux nista nibqa d-dejja bil-blaċċent polit.
Type, let us.
Imma inti qatt kellek dik il-ħaġa fejn like titkellem jew jien bil-Malti jew bl-Ingliż, inti bl-Ingliż u jiġi xaħat fuqek jgħidlek qegħdin għawdex tkellem blawċi.
Fil-primarja. Fil-primarja?
Sekondarja u koll illa.
Le, sekondarja by that point I didn't care.
Seconda chance.
Primarja, those 12-year-olds, man, they were so patriotic, God bless, awnek. And my own brother as well, we just have beef. Awnek, għawdex, tkellem bil-Malti.
Seconda chance.
No, you mean as in talk with a Gozitan dialect?
Yes, either with the
that
Gozitan
no.
dialect or in
Cut,
Maltese.
Sharks is almost 40 minutes. Ħalli we start another one. Mela, issa, bdejna xkonna se nagħmlu 10 minuti, nitkellmu bil-Malti. Intkom
Malti
Wait,
Power Hour.
blawċin jew
Le, mux power hour.
Power
Hija-
10 minutes.
Le, sija tas-saħħa.
Sija tas-saħħa.
Sija tas-saħħa.
10
10
minuti
minuti
tas-saħħa.
U intkom se titkellmu bil-Malti mingħajr id-dialett għawċi.
Jieħa
Ma
nipprova.
jibqa għalina li mandux.
Eżat, jimma, like nissa ċertu klim li like nejdom.
Nifim, nasib jisaj ċertu kien palma jien nissa ċertu kien blawċi, niprofa namela ta' għawċi.
Like Iwa, I say it like all the time. Nejda l-ħin kollu, skużani.
Xini?
Iwa.
Mux jek tejda.
Le, I mean, suppost
Suppost
Le, il-Maltin ija,
Ija. Eżat.
lawċin iwa.
Mena. How, mena or mela?
Mela.
Mena.
Mela. Jien
Mela.
mela nejt.
Jena mena nejt.
Jien mela.
Jien ħan għamel.
Inti jek titi jansa titkellem bil-Pepe.
Għalek, ekkon senajt. Ħan iprofa ma neqlibx bl-Inglis, bl-izbal.
Anka
Imma
jien.
Jiena minn taslima, so għandi skuża, għandi kondizjoni li tal-pepeizmu, marda li
Marda.
neqleb.
Pepizmu.
Ma nafx nitkellem bil-Malti laqas bl-Inglis. U hija konfoffa kera ta' tnej li huma.
Kon foffa.
Konfaffa.
Imma Michael kellu xi ħaġa li rrid tisemmilna issa.
Jien iktar kont ammur fuq id-dialett, to be honest.
Fuq dialett rrid tismela ejja nitkellem.
Like,
Nejdlek il-verità. Mux to be honest.
Vera, Mike.
Xaru kaza.
Illa.
Edin għawdex tkellem bil-Malti.
Ej, dela!
Blawċi. Xaja ma ilaws.
le, għaxan jem ċertu, jien niftakar meta mort San Luigi, like, in-nis kienu jgħidu li kalli accent, għawċi. Like, evident, kif tistaw taraw, mandiċ accent għawċi.
Kemm li nafek ma nafx li qas smajtek titkellem blawċi.
Imma mbagħad hemm ċertu kliem, like eżempju, ejt knisja.
Knesja.
Ejt knisja.
Knisja.
So, like, apparently, lawċin jgħidu knisja.
Apparatament.
Apparentament, lawċin jgħidu knisja isa blije.
Isa?
Isa blije. So, kene ie, jese a.
Nejdlek il-verità qed ma rajt, qed ma
Knesja.
smajta
Le,
differenza
eżatt, ma
bejn il-i u l-ije. Qed ma smajta.
Domt l-isbaħ seklu biex ninduna d-differenza.
Hemm differenza.
Bil-i u l-ie?
Eżatt.
Bil-ie ta' walija.
Eżatt, like, jgħidu li lawċin intawlu ċertu kliem. Imma, like, like, jekk inti għawċi, bil-rispet kollu minti xat induna bija.
Le,
Like, titkellem isu xejn mhu
perspettiv
xejn.
minn barra.
Eżatt.
Ħankun onest, jekk int Malti qed tfittex biex tgħid
Eżatt, eżatt.
nofs il-darba qas tinduna.
Xem iktar ċumbini.
ċombini.
Taf xinu
ċombini.
ċombini.
Imma ċombini huma ma jużawix il-kelma.
Eżatt.
Le, nużawa.
Le,
Le,
tal-inxir.
Il-ħarm
Il-ħarm tal-inxir.
Malta juża ħajek ta' ukoll.
Le, ma ċombini hija propja.
Jien il-flajnet.
Il-labar
stramba.
Tal-inxir.
Flajnet tgħidilha nemusira.
Umba ċombini aħna
Jina
ma
nejt
ngħidulhom tal-bitzilla.
Jiena ngħid moskito net ma snaf
Le,
bil-kelma
nemusira, men.
Le, nemusira.
Nemusira.
Ma nistax nifa. Il-flajnet. Nemusira.
Nemusira, stra tajba, sa nibda nużaħ dik il-kelma.
Gejxa ma jgħidux.
Gejxa x'inhi?
Headband. Gejxa. G-E-J-X-A.
Bħal tal-Ġapan.
Le, mux il-Ġapponiżi.
Ma, ħani, l-axar darba kelli
Dikser u minn għandna.
Kelli, sħabi ġew whatever għal-karnival, insomma. U wieħed minnhom saqsini, isma' ħarja hija komplement brawċi. Għax kien hemm xi ħadd like ġie fuqhom, għalilhom iskom ħarja. U bella-ħilhom li.
Ma nafx tfisser
ħarja.
Ħarja hija ħara żejra, le?
Eżatt.
Hija ħara żejra.
Jisma' ħadd saqsik di, ħarja hija komplement brawċi. Qedlu le. Kif tkun?
Palmeta bl-Ingliż ħanaqla pal-Ingliż, palmeta tgħid little shit.
Like minn fejn ġibta.
Isek ħarja.
Jisek ħarja.
Ajma. Għandi storja fuq dialett għawċi. Tinvolvi li lema. U
Le,
fl-axħar jumej.
blajt kanna men.
Laqas fl-axħar jumej, fl-axħar
Blajt kanna raġel.
24 sijat. Diġa semmejtila xi 3 darbi dil-istorja. Għax wistaddaħ. Darba konna Malta. U konna din, id-dar tiegħi konna din naraw, il-klikka naraw il-video ta' Sonic, insomma.
Imma
l-fan
biex
da.
nkun ngħid kollox irrit nispjega li kont qiegħda nċempel lill-ommi, le ommi ċemplet lili. U ma stajtx nifhimha, allura bdejt ngħajat. U bdejt naġġel li kellu affett. Għax qatt ma rġajtu smajtuha.
Sallum il-ġurnata le, ma.
Tara!
Għax għatma
Għatma kont situazzjoni fejn
dik il-kelma.
il-kelma terġa'.
Fil-verità kollu. Ġifieri,
L-ommi.
għabdet il-telefon. Għaw ma, xiex għax kif għattejt.
Le, xe?
Et mal-ħbeb. Man.
Le.
Man, it
Qed teżaġera.
Mal-ħabeb.
Stenna, Maltese off. Ida mal-ħbeb. Ħbeb.
Ija, dik tinsema normali għalija.
ħbib.
Dik tinsema normali
Bil-Malti hija
għalija.
ħbieb.
Naf li ħbieb.
Iva,
Imma
imma
għallaw
jien
ċili ħbieb is like.
Imma, għax
Le,
kont
tifhem
edha
x'inhu jgħid,
najat.
Imma dak il-ħin.
Jien, f'moħħi eżagġerajtuha ħafna.
Kienet vera taddaħ. Dik l ħaġa.
Dak l-importanti.
Fimt il-kelma, kif qed ngħid. Jekk mhux qed tfittex xi ħaġa biex tgħid
Tgħid li ġenju sal-kommedja jien.
Vera kienet taddaħ.
Ġrat li l-bieraħ. Ġi xaħat l-ispiżerija. Għal etnaqta kalbi.
Imma dik
X'tifmu?
tax-xewkija.
Eżatt, xtifmu.
Ta' kalbi.
Rrit il-kalpol.
Le,
Naqta qalbi.
Iva.
ija.
Għax tax-xewkija. Iva, jagħmlu ke.
In-nies.
Mhux ta' daqsna ta' ġifieri.
Eżatt, like ix-xjuħ.
Ix-xjuħ.
Imma dik pereżempju ġorġi anka Malta, hemm postijiet li jgħiduha.
Mux il-kark, le.
Ma nafx fejn.
Kieku l-karkara vera tad-daħ.
Le,
ma
jien kont ngħid pereżempju naħseb pala awċi dejjem tisma' dik l-istorja ta' mort ant il-qassis u saqsejtu għal-curry.
Ija, il-kari.
Qari. Biex jagħmilek il-qari.
U fuq il-bajt.
Kiku tajb jemmek il-karja. għandi
Kont
ġuħsa.
qed ngħid jien.
Inti titla fuq il-bajt biex tonxor il-ħwejjeġ.
Il-bajt, fuq il-bejt, jien bejt ngħid.
Nitla fuq il-bajt.
Nitla fuq il-bajt.
Nitla fuq il-bajt. Ejja.
Imma ċertu postijiet, like Malta, l-aċċent tagħhom jinsemawċi. Like jien noqgħod ir-rabat Malta, ir-rabat ta' Malta. Not confusing at all.
Naħseb
Mhux confusing.
l-aqreb li qed smajt jien huwa minn tal-mellieħa.
Eżatt, like il-mellieħa.
Imma huma qegħdin fil-qrib.
Eżatt, like tifhimha. Imma like in-naħħa tar-rabat ta' Ħaddingli, like l-aċċent tagħhom
Ħaddingli
jinstema'.
għandhom aċċent qawwi
Eżatt,
ħafna.
jinstemaw imma dak it-tip jien meta nkun qiegħed hemmhekk like xi kultant ngħid dan minn fejn foqqas l-awċi hawnhekk.
U iwa laqwa li tafu li jekk għawdex kif niċċajtu aħna qed ikolla l-indipendenza kamuna l-mana. Għax aħna nieħdu ssieba, kamuna tagħna.
Kontu tafu li kamuna taħta jinsilem.
Taħta
Issa.
għajn selmiża.
Iva, għax darba.
Taħtna.
Kont nafdi, għax darba morna fuq waħda minn dawn il-websites.
Għax il-konsul tagħna
trid-
responsabbli għalija.
Issemmi l-localities kollha u għandek it-timer trid
Lokalitajiet.
tipprova taħta l-localities.
Fuq sporkil naħseb kienet xi ħaġa.
U
L-istra
il-pepizmu,
sparkle.
il-pepizmu ħarġ, sorry. U konna din niprofa namlu kamuna, ma kienx qed taħdem, u kellna zakku ġi moment of genius. No, moment tal-ġeni.
Ġenjalizmu.
Ġenjalizmu. U għal, dak għan xillem naħseb jiġi.
Iġfir kontu għadkom ma daħħaltu xajn silem.
Le, konna
So, kontu
għabdejni
għamlu
Bdejna
Minn Malta.
mis-South ta' Malta. U bdejna naħdmu
Alright.
Dawk li konna nafu.
Eżatt.
Imma mbagħad kollha sibnihom irnexxi.
Iva.
Is-saw ta' Malta l-lawċi ma jeżistix.
Le, bis-serjetà.
Is-saw ta' Malta għal xi
Issa
Maltin ma
xemem
jeżistix.
xemem misfel ma nafx.
Jiġifieri-
Il-ħut naħseb hemm.
Jien issa drajt ġifiri il-melli
Le, Malta
għal-manikata
l-Malta.
birker kara u
Le, ma
Drajt-
il-fisheries.
Drajt għax insu. Manikata ta' fejni.
Blu.
Eżatt. So-
Pala għawċija, l-unika postijiet li nista' ngħidlek fejn huma. St. Julian's, Islima, Valletta.
Slima.
Imsida u Birkirkara, dawk il-postijiet. li
Gżira,
nista'
le?
ngħidlek. Gżira parti
U hija
mill-imsida
gżira
narwa
parti
jien.
Le, le,
mill-imsida.
mhijiex parti
Għal-kull raġuni hija parta mill-imsida at this point.
Palma nara Swatar jien parti mill-Birkirkara.
Eżatt,
Swatar, nofsu nofs.
swatar isa it-taċċawla.
Bażikament.
Swatar nofsa Birkikara, nofs liħor imsida. Mill-Knisja l-hemm, msida
Taċċawla,
mill-Knisja l-għaw.
taċċawla.
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 Jew il-cappuccini.
Il-cappuccini. Għandkom id-dija fejn hu l-cappuccini.
Il-biċċa ta' rabat li
Qabel ma
għandha.
Rabat ta' Malta jew Tawdex.
Tawdex. Qed
Sorry,
ngħidu.
Victoria, il-parti ta' rabat Tawdex li tkun nizla għal Marsal Forn.
M'għandix idea. Ma nafx asna f'Malta, Tawdex m'għandix idea.
Imma eżatt like ċertu postijiet, like, alright, intom jekk ngħidilkom fejn hu Kerċem, probabbli
M'għandix idea.
Eżatt.
Imma Kerċem hija lokalità, le?
Yes, yes.
Iva, alright.
Imma
Il-cappuccini u
Kerċem
taċċawla
nafferjati.
mumiex.
eżatt huma iktar għaw kif.
Ikunu l-area.
Palma ngħidlek fejn hu
Eżatt.
San Lawrence.
Jien San Lawrence, by the way. Imma le, eżempju, like tgħid li ma tafx Kerċem, mhux l-ikbar ħaġa.
Iva, iva.
Imma tgħid lil Malti isma' jien ma nafx fejn hu Swatar, Swieqi, whatever. Jidu, kif jista' jkun ma tafx fejn hu?
Insomma, suwata remmin ħawada ma' suwiqi.
Jien
ma'
swatar
differenza.
naf fejn hu biss minħabba l-fatt li kont ngħixem bil-flat.
Imma
Qabel ma mars l-imsida.
is-Sawta Malta, il-Nord trajtu ftit għax kemm il-ninsuqu is-Sawta Malta.
Is-Sawta Malta min ikun joqgħod like
Diżastru.
center nord u jekk ma jkunux jaħdmu fis-South ma jkunux jafu xem fis-South. Issa meta provajna nagħmlu dit tal-lokalitajiet kważi xejn.
Issa minn
Disastru.
Sokratizmu.
Marsal
Jiena
Xlok,
li
Marsal
kont
Forn,
naf tas-South. Marsal Forn.
Marsal
Marsal
Forn
Forn,
edha
Marsa Forn, mela
Marsa
tara.
Xlok,
Marsa Skala.
Marsa
U Marsa
Skala,
Xlok.
m'għandix idea. m'għandix
Iwa
idea.
Marsa Xlok semmija.
Marsal
Marsal Forn.
Xlok, Marsa
Ej,
Skala.
tarat m'għandix idea.
Dal-podcast sar minn flok razzizmu kontra l-Awċin, razzizmu
Kontra
kontra
l-Maltin.
s-Sawt.
Ok. Le, għandek raġun, alright.
Suppost kien fuq il-
Kontra
student Awċin.
Għamilna l-ewwel
Ta'
sija.
Il-puntijiet
nofsinhar,
kardinali.
nofsinhar.
Le, nofsinhar.
Minuti, ħanitkellmu fuq l-aktar.
Nofsinhar.
10 minutes
Nofsenar,
power sija
nofsenar
tal-saħħa.
Nord jew South.
Nofsinhar huwa Tony Gerger li xi nies South.
Alright, le, għandek
Le,
raġun.
Tony Gerger li
Tony
xorbi
Gerger li
nofs
xi-
litru Pepsi Max.
Le jiena nafa.
Tramontana.
Jiena nafa Tony Gerger li xi nies
Il-ponent u
laqmuh
l-vant.
patata max. Hekk nafa jiena.
Tony Tramontana, Gerger, Grigal, li il-vant, xorbilu,
Oh
xlok,
my god,
nofs,
fakkartuni.
nofsinar, litru,
Litru il-vant.
Pepsi, ponent le il-vant l-ewwel waħda.
Il-qaq.
Ma nafx.
Il-beach.
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 Max Maestra. Jo Maestral.
Maestral.
Maestral, għax Maestra midwife. Dejjem na. I always confuse them.
Fakkartuni, Tony tana tanetina tal-li tajtu tuta tajba tal-li tajtu tuta tajba
Tony tani tanetina.
What?
Ija
Tidher
il-tongue
Pepe.
twister, imma Maltija. What?
Ajma.
Kemm
Imma-
għaddejjina?
Dik kienet
Cameraman.
l-episode
Kemm?
Astremela għanna sija plus 12. Not
Da.
bad. Għanna naqra jep li we have to slice.
Naqra.
Ma nirranġa.
Ole, a lot of the yep is good yep.
Paroli
Some of it you said would were me to cut that.
Yes, some of that we do need to cut. But that was episode 22. Episodju 22.
Washing.
Thank you very much once again to Emma
Grazie.
and Michael for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be on my own podcast.
Emma, the unofficial third member.
Eżatt.
Issa daqt eventual toħroġ il-post li għanna new third member.
Who's the second most often guest? Would it be me at this point?
Int għandek ġiġ
Int għandek
appearances.
tnej,
Lax
eżatt.
Elvin għandu tnej, imma dawk it-tnej ma skaftuni.
Din għandu tnej.
Din għandu tnej fej kellu episodi, imma waħda minnhom qasira ħafna.
Issa nagħtikom il-lore for another episode.
Tajjeb, imbagħad tkun second most.
Ifem.
Oh, you need to tell me this, Laura.
Yeah,
Wara
għandna
li
bżonn
sejna
Lord
tal-PSA, edna li rrid namlu ħada fuq sek.
Shout out MPS.
Madonna.
Vera, għanna bżon namlu s-sek episode.
Oh my
What
god.
the hell was
Kuna
that?
se namlu
eh?
għal aħħar darba, se
The
namlu għaxi
se-
darba.
se namlu-
Imma
We need to
insomma,
get so much permission to mention the stuff from Sam.
Xej.
Ma nużawx ismijiet.
That's gonna be so confusing.
Namlu board, u namlu l-ismiet il-fake, ħalli aħna niftakru
Oh
huma
my
l-ismiet il-fake.
god, yes.
That was episode 22, guys. Thank you for watching. Once again, thanks to the guests. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.
Ciao, boss.
Bye.